So before this video starts, I'm just going to ask you to hit like. At the moment, YouTube favours content that has higher engagement, so if you want to help with the channel, that's how you do it. If you change your mind later, you're free to do so. Thank you. Now onto the video. The Aurora, Texas UFO incident took place in Aurora, Texas on April the 17th, 1897. An unidentified flying object was seen by locals and witnesses to have crashed into a windmill on land owned by the local judge. The crash was thought to have led with one fatality, the pilot, who was said to have been not of this world. The body was buried by military personnel in the local cemetery. The pilot was buried in a marked Christian grave, and as a result of their religious tendencies, for a long time they refused to dig him up and examine the remains. However, the owners of the cemetery would allow examination above soil. In 2005, MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network, were able to detect metallic material beneath the grave. They later asked for the grave to be exhumed and the body examined, however they were declined. Here's where things get interesting. Following the MUFON investigation, the grave marker mysteriously disappeared to be replaced with a small 3-inch pipe. There are also no longer readings of any metallic material. This leads many to believe that there was some kind of government intervention, but it really is strange and unclear. So now that we have a rough idea of what the Aurora incident actually entailed, let's take a critical look at it. One of the main theories of opposition is that it was all a hoax. Now obviously, there aren't really any living eyewitnesses. However, there were interviews taken of eyewitnesses and locals who claimed that this was the case. So why would they lie? Why would they create a hoax? Supposedly, Aurora had just suffered from some serious diseases. It almost looked like the whole place was going to be wiped off the map. No one would know about it. Perhaps this story was concocted as a last-minute attempt to try and get the town some notoriety. Although this could always be a possibility, there is opposition even to this. The main evidence used to support this claim is that there was not actually a windmill at the judge's house. However, there has been found the remains of the base of a windmill or something similar, so that in a way debunks this. Since this event took place so long ago and the remains seem to have been tampered with, it's impossible to tell whether this is real or not. But we can speculate. The time frame that this took place was long before the UFO craze arose, and there had been sightings across America of a strange cigar-shaped flying object. This took place before films had become popular, especially films regarding aliens and UFOs, and when compared with the much more popular Roswell incident 50 years later, there would have been very little inspiration for this story, so if it is a hoax, it's very creative and well thought of. However, in such desperate times, it is certainly possible that it could have all been a hoax. There's also the fact that this event was not investigated very heavily at the time. Now you could put that down to the nature of that time frame. Perhaps people just weren't that involved, perhaps the government wasn't investigating things as often as they are today, but you would have at least thought there'd be some coverage other than just the initial story. But ultimately, we can say without a shadow of a doubt that this is one of the strongest pieces of evidence for UFOs and potential extraterrestrial contact with Earth. So let me know in the comments below, how much weight do you think there is to this story? Have you ever experienced UFOs or aliens yourself? Perhaps you visited the Aurora gravesite. I'd love to know your thoughts. Like this video if you did, share it with a friend, and of course if you haven't already, subscribe for more creepy content.